Hello everyone, this is Mark Flopsy Shepherd once again, and welcome to my LP of the NeoLemmix Introduction Pack 2020 version. I say 2020 version because I have actually LP'd the original NeoLemmix Introduction Pack, but I'm going to link this on my channel as part of the tutorial playlist, so it's easier to find. So a bit of background into this pack. Basically the community decided it needed an up-to-date introduction pack, and IchoTolot went out of his way to make one for us, and it's got some levels which are made with different tile sets. It's got some levels which touch on things which haven't been done in the original NeoLemmix Introduction Pack, and basically it's a good pack to start with if you're new to Neolamix. It's even good for people who are quite seasoned like me. Never know, it might teach me a thing or two, things I didn't already know. So hopefully I'll get quite an experience out of this. I've been looking forward to playing this one because I've had my eye on it for a while, and literally the version 1.0 has just come out, so I thought I'm not going to hold off any longer, because there are still going to be further updates to this pack, but I thought now would be a good time to dip my feet in and just get started on it. Here's hoping I finish it before it changes around though, but I probably won't download the update if that happens. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. So I didn't really touch on this as well. It's split into a couple of ranks: skills, objects and functions, basic training 2, and then advanced training. So there's 5 skill ratings. It's got a varying amount of levels in each. Like the first rank's only got 13, the second rank's got 17, and the last 3 ranks have got either 21 or 22 levels in them. So let's get started anyway. So just digging into Neolamix. Skills 1, 20 lemmings, 5 to be saved. I'm not even going to say the author of the level because it's probably going to be IchoTolot in most cases. I only say it if it's a different author. Welcome to Neolamix. The goal of the game is to lead a group of lemmings from their hatch to the exit, helping the lemmings by assigning them skills. Each level can have a different selection of skills you can assign. The digger lets a lemming dig straight down, creating a tunnel that other lemmings will fall into. And if you ever feel overwhelmed in a level, middle click, take a deep breath and take time to get an overview. Yeah, I always press middle click. I don't use the pause button down here. Or you can press the P button as well. So I'm using a different music rotation to when I recorded Jeff Lems this time. It doesn't really matter where I dug there, because it's just like just dig. They don't actually die to a fatal drop at in that level either. That was quite easy. There's no traps hidden, is there? No, I don't think even IchoTolot would be that mean. Is this one fatal? No, it's not fatal either. So just like level 1 in vanilla lemmings, you know, it's just a just digger clone, so that's alright. So I'll probably try and get this whole rank into one video because it's only 13 levels and they're not really taking that long at the moment. Let's take a bash at it. Skills 2, 30 lemmings, 10 to be saved. Next up, we've got the basher. The basher creates a horizontal tunnel through the terrain. As with the digger, the basher stops when there is no more terrain in front of it. You may have already noticed in the last level that a grey shadow indicates the effect of each selected skill in the panel while hovering over the mouse over a lemming. Now bash your way through the level. So there's going to be a wall of text on most levels, just basically teaching you how to use said skill. This might be a bit of a step back from Jeff Lem's, but this is why I'm really putting this in the tutorial playlist. So if you're watching this expecting really hard levels, then this is probably not the playthrough for you. This is probably not the playthrough you should be watching. Nothing too hard there. Should also be said that IchoTolot's actually German, and he's done a great job of translating into English all those walls of text. I don't think I found any spelling mistakes so far, or any grammar mistakes. Not to be coming down on you. Anyway, sorry, the word I was looking for, not to be patronising. Okay, fence and mine for a diagonal line. Skills 3. 15 lemmings, 5 to be saved. Fences and miners are 2 more terrain removal skills. Fences create a diagonal tunnel upwards through the terrain. Miners do the same but in a downwards direction. Their angles are the same, but miners create a bigger tunnel. Yeah, I was hoping he was going to say that. Hint, you may want to avoid the lava pits in this level. Lemmings don't like fire and lava. Aha! There's a mistake. Lava is not actually defined as a fire object in this game. For some bizarre reason. Though if you go into clear physics mode, it's actually defined as water. So lemmings could theoretically swim in it. Yeah, nothing too tricky again here. Just if you want to go diagonally up, you fence. If you want to go diagonally down, you mine. This is the first level that introduces 2 skills at once, so it's going to be a bit of a. So when you want to change skill, you just choose the skill you want on the panel. It's quite hard. It's quite hard to go into the lava now that you're down at the bottom. And you don't even need to bash through these things because the lemmings will automatically walk over these spikes. So I'm trying to teach some additional things here, but they might be touched on in other tutorial videos. Sorry, tutorial levels, I mean. This is a nice looking hell level anyway. I'm quite a fan of this tile set. It's probably my favourite of the original tile sets. Okay, so on to level 4. Try and pick up the pace a bit now because we're lingering a bit. Okay, climb up, hang on, get along. Skills 4. Now we've got 2 more skills, climbers and shimmiers. The climber is a permanent skill that stays with a lemming until he dies or exits the level. Climbers climb up straight walls until they either reach on edge or hit their head. If they hit their head, they fall back down. Shimmiers jump up and try to reach a ceiling. These are actually quite a hard skill to use, so I'm surprised it's come up so soon. And try to reach a ceiling. If they are successful, they go along the ceiling until they reach a 2 or more pixel height difference. Did not know that. I did know the angle had to be... The overhang can't be more than 45 degrees in either direction. Lemmings die if they fall 64 or more pixels in height. Yeah, that's what a splat rule is for. The pink line indicates it's going to be a fatal fall. Some people have asked me, well, I haven't really actually been asked this, but if you're wondering what the one at the very top of the splat ruler is, that's the height that climbers can fall down a wall and actually survive the drop. So if there was just something, if there was an overhang just above where this orange marker is at the top of the ruler, the climber would splat from falling. Climber can actually survive a bigger drop than a standard lemming would. And when I say they can survive a bigger drop, they can survive... I probably should send all 3 of these guys, to be honest. When I say they can survive a bigger drop, I mean if they're actually climbing at the time they fell. It doesn't magically make them able to walk off an edge and survive bigger drops. So look, as you can see, the shadow Because like I said, it's like 45 degrees, 45 degree inclines and overhangs, it's okay. And we have to go the long way around, unfortunately, sad as it seems. But these guys can just cling onto the ceiling when they need to. So it looks like we need to assign it 5 times each. So they're just going to come back, because that's what I mean. If they hit an overhang here, if the height is bigger than that orange line on the splat ruler, they'll splat. But the pink one is for standard lemmings. I'm not sure what the brown one's for though. I'm sure somebody will tell me. Oh, that one didn't work. See, there's a 2 pixel difference there, look. So the shimmy doesn't work if you try it there. And see how they stopped automatically there because they met something that was 2 pixels higher than where they were. So we didn't actually need all the skill assignments, and there was a generous save requirement of 2, meaning we could lose 1 if we wanted to. But I wanted to save them all, so block and blow in the snow. Skills 5, 25 lemmings, 5 to be saved. I'm guessing it's not possible to save 100% on this one then. Curtains up for blockers and bombers. Yay, blockers are my favourite skills. So you got to go fast when I release it if you're not sure what I mean by that. Blockers turn around any lemmings who walk into them. Blockers can't return to walking without help. They do their duty until the very end, like when they are exploded by the bomber skill, for example. The bomber explodes any lemming which it is assigned to on the spot. The explosion creates an egg-shaped crater in the process, which also removes terrain. Why are you only giving me 5 blockers? I like blockers. Leave them alone. So that's not too bad. The biggest obstacle is just going to get through this crater here. Curious how many bombers we can actually do it in. Looks like we can get it done in 5, that's good. I don't think it can be done in less than 5, to be honest. We're going to have to use a 6th one here anyway. No, they're already there. At least Neolamix is behaving in this video. I'm usually having problems with big levels. It's been zoomed in too far. Technically, the nuke hasn't been introduced yet, so I'm just using what's there available to me. It probably should be pointed out that you can either blow the lemmings up at the end of the level or nuke, because that could get people stuck if they weren't familiar with it. But that's just my feedback. A float, a glide, puts any abyss aside. Skill 6, 8 lemmings, 6 to be saved. Let's talk about floaters and gliders. The floater is a permanent skill which allows a lemming to survive long falls to the ground. The glider is similar, but the lemming glides down in a diagonal line. Both skills save the lemming from splatting immediately after the assignment. A lemming can either be a floater or a glider, but never both. This is just a remake of Fun 2 basically, but you just have to assign skills to different lemmings. And I'm just going to do some different things here to show off some things as well. You can apply a floater there and it will still survive the drop, which makes no logical sense. And if you delay a glider, essentially he is like a floater if you do it right at the bottom. So really a glider is a floater as well. It's just the gliders are a bit more complicated, because once they've got the glider, they will do the diagonal motion from the very top. Like that, look. So as you can see, IchoTolot made it such that they go past the exit and have to turn around, just to show off how annoying they can be. I actually find the glider one of the most annoying skills in the game, because I still don't understand the physics to it to this day. Because sometimes the lemmings can pass under things which you just don't think is possible. Okay, skill 7, building flat and building high. 30 lemmings, 5 to be saved. Probably the most important skill in the whole of lemmings, I'd say. It's very hard to make a level without this skill, but IchoTolot's managed to make 6 without them, so fair play to them. Now to the very crucial builder and platform skills. Build a 12-step diagonal bridge upwards. Platforms create a flat straight line of bricks without gaining any height. It can only be assigned when they actually can place bricks in front of them. Yeah, it's not like in Licks where you can where they can stack them up, where you can stack platformers up to make a wall. It's probably the best though. If I had a skill builds against a wall or the lemming hits his head, he will stop the task and turn around. Although it's very hard for a platformer to hit his head. I can't remember the limit for platformers hitting their heads. I think it's like 2 pixels or something. Or 1. I think you can get 1 pixel. But builders are like much harder to... well, it's easier for builders to hit their heads, I should say. The last 3 steps on both skills are indicated by a clicking sound or a chinking. I always call it a chink. Do not be discouraged by losing a few lemmings if you can afford it. Yeah, because you can actually... Well, here we got 3 pixels. But I'm just going to test something out. I'm just going to build like 2 steps and then see if I can Yeah, you can still platform. Okay, it's 1 pixel. I've answered my question. Okay, so let's try and do the correct skill now. This is going to be one of those annoying levels where we're just building for the sake of it, aren't we? The important thing is though, we've got to make sure we don't build against the wall here. Otherwise it's going to be very difficult to turn the lemmings around. I'm trying to go for 100% here, but it's going to be quite difficult. We've got to make sure we don't lose. We've got to make sure we don't use too many builders, because we're going to need them in the next section. Although once we get to these stairs, we're okay. Okay, I'm going to start using platforms now. Okay. Well, at least the hazardous bit's done now. The other danger we've got to watch out with builders is we've got to make sure that when the lemmings are falling off the bridge while it's being built, that they survive the drop. But I don't think that's going to be a problem here, because we're way off with the splat ruler at the moment. I think we're going to be okay. Actually, we can platform that. It's handy to notice things like that. We definitely need builders there though, without a doubt. The reason I use builders down here as well was because you can't actually assign platformers right there along a flat surface. At least they can walk up that. Oh, I realised that we can actually platform that as well, effectively. Got an option with this. We can either do a builder there, or we can platform from up here. I think I'll just opt for the platformer, give them a bit of use. That was a very good level, that was. That's a very good builder tutorial level. Very good music for the occasion as well, a remix of the Lemmings tune. Okay, so on to the next one. Okay, 20 stacks and stones saved our bones. Skills 8, 20 lemmings, 5 to be saved. Stackers and stoners are up next. Stackers create a vertical wall of 8 bricks right in front of them. The wall is high enough to turn the lemmings around after it has been finished. The last 3 bricks are again indicated by a chink, click. Stoners are similar to bombers, but instead of exploding, a lemming turns into a lemming-shaped stone. This can also be used to block lemmings. Stoners can be assigned in mid-air. This allows them to create terrain blocks during a fall, which other lemmings can land on. Yeah, that's a good definition. Okay, so what he was saying was, look, you can just turn them into stoners in mid-air, and it effectively makes a step for the lemming to survive the drop. I get the impression we're going to need another stoner on this next bit. Not going to have enough we're not going to have enough stackers to do the rest of it, but we can always use a stoner in its place. Unfortunately, the stoner takes time to assign when it's not in mid-air, because it's like it has to explode like a bomber. Another nice level there that introduces stoners and stackers anyway, so that was good. Okay, Amphibious Engineer Squad. Skills 9, 4 lemmings, 3 to be saved. Lemmings normally can't swim, so water is a death trap for them unless you've got swimmers. The swimmer is a permanent skill with which they can cross any pond or river. And lava, because in the hell levels they're actually defined as water. In some levels there are also deadly traps which kill lemmings who walk into their trigger area. Disarmers can deactivate them for good. Like the swimmer, the disarmer is a permanent skill. Disarming takes a few seconds, but the trap becomes harmless immediately. Yeah, but some people like... So one trick people like to use with disarmer skills is they like to put loads of traps in a row, and the disarmer will be stuck on the first trap while lemmings are walking past and going into the second trap and dying. So we have to assign the swimmer skill to every lemming, otherwise they can't get through the water. And as you can see, look, this is something that's actually been very recently added to Neolamix. Secondary animations, which allow the traps to be seen a lot better. We might lose a lemming here because I think the one at the front is not a disarmer. Oh no, he is actually a disarmer. Because when you put your cursor over them, if they've got more than one permanent skill on them, they're called an athlete. And I think if they've got 3 skills, they're called a triathlete. I don't think there's a name for anybody who's got 4 permanent skills. Because it is possible to be a climber, a floater, a swimmer, and a disarmer at the same time. Okay, walking on the cloner cliffs. Skills 10, 1 lemming, 5 to be saved. 1 lemmings. That's bad English. That's not the pack creator's fault though. Walkers and cloners are 2 very handy skills. Walkers turn around walking lemmings in the other direction. They can also interrupt any skill a lemming is currently doing. This includes the blocker skill, but no permanent skills. Interrupting does not change the direction of the lemming. The cloner creates a clone of a lemming. The cloner faces the other direction and inherits all permanent and non-permanent skills from the original lemming. So non-permanent means if they're building, when the builder is cloned, they will start building a bridge in the opposite direction. So you end up with like 3. If you do it halfway through a builder bridge, you end up with like 3 parts of a X. You'll just be missing the bottom corner that wasn't done. And if the original has 5 builder steps left, or the clone has 5 builder steps left, let's see if you can save them all. Oops. Should probably clone first, actually. There we go. That's all 5 lemmings saved. So I should probably explain there. The walker was just turning around the original lemming. So the key to this level is just not to clone so early on. Only clone when they get to the bottom. And because all the cloners are already facing in the opposite direction, you only need to use a walk on the original lemming that you cloned. You can clone the same lemming over and over. So each time you clone, you send another lemming in the opposite direction. Okay, this looks like the jumper level. Jumping lem flash. The amount of times I've heard this film being referenced. Okay, 2 lemmings, 1 to be saved. The jumper skill makes a lemming jump forward in an arc. Should he not hit solid ground after finishing the arc, he will fall straight down. The distance fallen will be measured starting after the jump in this case. Should the lemming hit his head on a ceiling during the jump, he will fall straight down immediately without turning around. If he jumps into a wall in front of him, he will not only fall but also turn around. That's actually something really useful to know, because it's not very obvious that that will happen. Let's jump into this level and try it out. So annoyingly, we've got 2 lemmings to make jump as well. Notice how if he gets to a ledge and he's just like not reached it, he'll shimmy over. Notice how as well he can hit his head on the chain links there, this lemming, if he doesn't jump right at the edge. Okay, so this is the bit where we turn the lemming around. Okay, well that wasn't too bad. Quite a nice level there, and it kind of sums up the jumper in a nutshell. So we've got 2 levels left. The video's dragging on a bit long now, so I'll try and get it done around the 30-minute mark. They can't mash us all. Skills 12, 60 lemmings, 6 to be saved. You may have noticed a number above the plus and minus in the bottom left corner of the skill bar. This is the current release rate. The release rate determines the rate at which the hatch releases new lemmings. The higher the number, the faster the lemmings spawn. Every level has a starting release rate which you cannot go under. Let's try turning the release rate up to the maximum of 99 as level. With the slow standard rate, the lemmings won't be able to go through the traps when enough lemmings come at the same time though. So there's no skills in this level. They're just revolving around this thing. Now you can either left click it and it'll go up and down accordingly, and you can use the -1 to turn it back. But if you right click it, it goes straight to 99, which is a handy skill to know. So the traps aren't going to get every single lemming. It's going to get like every 3rd or 4th lemming, and then further down more lemmings get mashed. So it's going to get very hard for lemmings to get through now. And we only had to have 6 get through, and we've already had 6 pass all the traps, so that's all good. So 6 is quite a generous save requirement, just in case you don't quite get it up to 99 from the get-go. So it's only possible to save 12 on this level. So, very lenient. So let's go on to the last level of the rank. Just nuke them, skills 13. The amount of times I've seen levels like this in packs, and I just think to myself, this is the only time where I think levels like this are justified in an actual tutorial style pack. I do like the blue flames as well, that's a good nice touch. And last, we've got the nuke. The nuke is always available. It signs a countdown to all lemmings. When it reaches 0, the lemmings explode and die. It also stops any more lemmings from entering the level. The nuke can be more than just the rage quit button though. The lemmings will explode one after another, and the ones whose time is still haven't reached 0 can still walk and act. Use this fact in this level. Let all lemmings enter the level and double click the nuke button. Observe closely. So he's actually referring to this thing down here that looks like an Armageddon symbol. Looks like an atom bomb has just fallen on. I've got no music on this level. Strange. I'll investigate after this video's done. So anyway. So as you can see, I saved 26 lemmings there, which is more than the save requirement. So anyway, that about concludes the skills rank. And I should probably mention as well that he was trying to explain that while the lemmings are exploding, they explode like one by one in like a defined order. So while the other ones are exploding, the lemmings that are yet to explode can actually still enter the exits. That's why the level was beaten. I don't think there's any other way to save, and I don't think there's any other way to save more or less. Depends on probably where you click the nuke. So I think that's the end of the rank. Yes, it is. So I'm going to stop the video now, and in the next video I shall be carrying on with the objects and functions rank.